Hey everyone, me and just about everybody else it seems on the internet for some time now have been talking a lot about regulation, regulating your nervous system, bringing it down to a place where it can heal and feel and do all the lovely yummy things that we should be doing most of the time anyway. But we don't often talk about resilience, and regulation is super important, and it is something that a lot of us struggle to do, particularly now in this crazy world that we live in. And usually, initially, particularly with particularly with people we're suffering from things like chronic fatigue syndrome and stuff, we may feel that we have to withdraw a little bit from society, withdraw a little bit from the craziness, the stresses, the strains around us, and that's fine for a while. That's what we need to do sometimes to feel more regulated. The thing is if we don't start to build resilience when we start to go back out in the world again, we start to struggle and we get dysregulated very quickly by all sorts of things that happen in this crazy world that we live in. So regulation is super important, but resilience is the next step, and we can't force it. We can't move from feeling all regulated and super and lovely to forcing resilience. It doesn't work like that. We need to feel safe, and feeling safe is different for everybody. Some people feel safe outside in nature, some people don't feel safe outside in nature, some people feel safe doing breathing techniques, other people don't feel safe doing breathing techniques. So this is very dependent on who you are, your history, how you feel in that day, in that moment. That changes from day to day, season to season, year to year. So it's really about finding what works for you and what makes you feel safe. So feeling regulated by doing like the ear wiggling stuff and things I've talked about in previous videos, which I will try and remember to link the main video about that down below for you to check out as well. It's all lovely and great, and regulation is key. But when we are feeling more regulated more often, then it's how do we build resilience? And both of them, like I say, they come from safety. So you can't be regulated if you don't feel safe, and you can't build resilience if you don't feel safe. So we build resilience by stepping slightly out of our comfort zone occasionally, but not pushing ourselves out of it in a big kind of big shocking things, like jumping out of a plane or petting a sheep if you're scared of sheep or something like that. We do little things all the time. So it might be, if you're scared of sheep, then you just look at sheep online to start with until that feels safe, and then you slowly build up. Or a really good one that I've spoken to people about is when if you're thinking about going somewhere and you think, oh, I don't know if I can take that, how is my nervous system going to react? How am I going to react? Is that going to be draining? Those sorts of things. Is okay, then I just initially open my door and I sit on my doorstep, and I do that till that feels safe. And then when that feels safe, and that might be a week, 2 weeks, whatever, or it might even just be a day, then you go to the end of your pathway and you sit on the wall, and then you make it to the end of the street, and then the next time you do that for a while until it feels safe, and then you sit at the bus stop and you watch the people go past. This is a really easy one to do because nobody knows what bus you're going to get on, so you can sit there forever if you like. The flies are quite bad. That's why I'm flapping my arms around. And then, maybe you do get on a bus, but you get off at one stop, or you do a circuit. You don't actually go anywhere. And being, my woolen top is being nibbled at by this woolly monster. Huh? And you do that until that feels safe. So this is, finding ways to make things feel safe, and this is really important day to day as well. So if you have a dentist appointment and it's scary, and I get that, even if you're not normally scared, they're just not nice, are they? Then you ask yourself, how can I make this feel safer? Can I listen to music? Can I put my hand on my heart? Can I speak to the dentist and say I'm scared? Can I take someone with me? Can I take a nice picture? Can I take a nice scented something or another? Instead of this thing where I have to do this, I need to force myself to do it, and it's going to affect my health badly, is okay, I probably have to do this. How can I make it feel as safe as possible? And in doing so, you teach the nervous system you're listening, you teach the nervous system it's okay, you teach the nervous system and yourself it's safe, and you start to build resilience. And when you do that, the nervous system starts to let go of its tight protective hold it has over you, and is more open to doing more things more often, instead of going into, it's withdrawn over the years because it's been so afraid of feeling worse, and so afraid of the world, and so afraid of everything really, that it's withdrawn and it's shut down, and it's got this massive wall of protection around you. So what we're doing is the opposite. So you can make day-to-day things like having to go to the bank manager or the dentist or something, ways that you build resilience, but you can also make, big things the way you build resilience as well. If I have to do something, then how can it help me? How can I make myself feel safe? How can I build resilience? And ultimately, that will help us heal and be stronger and deal with life's insanities. If we don't build resilience and then we force ourselves back out into the world, the first thing that is really stressful for us makes us feel worse again. And I see that often with people. So it's not just about, oh, I feel better now. It's, have I built resilience inside of myself to deal with the crazy ass shit sorry, I don't know if I can swear, that happens in the world all the time. And this is how we do it. This is how we allow our chores and our normal day-to-day things to also help us heal and feel stronger and more resilient in this crazy world. So that's all from me today and these crazy animals, and I will speak to you all soon. Ciao.